This is a story of how a realtor and a contractor tried to bamboozle me and my buyer into buying a house that had no permits on it. So we found this house here in Sarasota, beautiful, beautiful house, fell in love with it. The lot was great. The yard was great. The house was beautifully updated, stunning. And I looked up the permits before we went, because I always do, and found nothing had been permitted in the last year or so no big deal. When in Sarasota, if you do cosmetic updates, floors, kitchen counters, cabinetry, things like that, paint, you don't need a permit for that. You just need it if you're moving things, electric, walls, plumbing, that sort of thing. So anyways, they said, nope, everything was cosmetic. We didn't do anything. So we went to looking around. We really liked it, and felt something was just a little off on this. So I did some more research. Part two, sorry. Okay, part two on trying to get bamboozled by a realtor and contractor. Now, they had their signs in front of the yard, both the realtor and the contractor. So I started doing some investigating. And the first thing I did is I looked at the previous listing, which was about a year ago from when they bought it. So they bought it, did the renos, turned around to sell it, and noticed that there were windows missing, and there were windows in the house that weren't there to begin with. That's structural. So when you close up a window, or when you add a window, you're adding or altering the structure of the building. And this was noticeable because the window that they boarded up was right on the front of the house by the front door. They enclosed it because it led to the bathroom. So this was really obvious. So I did some more digging, looking for permits, thinking surely they're not lying about this. And I didn't miss anything. And I was wrong. They were lying through their teeth about this. Part three, sorry. So to protect my buyer, I called the county and I said, listen, this is what's going on. I didn't give the address. I said, listen, this is what's going on. What happens if my buyer buys it? Is he somehow protected because he didn't know about this and he was not party to it? And they said, not really. If the house is reported, even if he didn't do the repairs or the changes or whatever, the county will come out and they're going to do another permit. And he's going to have to pay for the permit. He's going to have to pay for the inspection. And if there's any fines, he's going to have to pay for that. So we go back to the seller and say, listen, this is what's going on. Why don't you just give us a credit for this amount? We'll go ahead and report it. We'll get it inspected. We'll get it done. So I was went, no, we didn't do anything. There's no structural changes. And we're like, picture with window, picture without window. You're claiming to be a contractor, so you should know that this is a structural change. Part four. So because I got such a weird response, I started looking into the contractor. He's not a contractor. He's not licensed. He's got a sign out in front of the yard that says he's a licensed contractor and he did the work for the property, and he's not. So not only are they lying about the permits, but they're misadvertising about the whole thing about him being a contractor, which is a big deal here in Florida because they're cracking down on contractors here and people claiming to be contractors. So basically what happened is my buyer walked away, rightfully so. Property eventually did sell. I have no idea if that buyer agent or that buyer knows what they're getting involved with, but we kind of dodged a bullet because if anybody had gotten pissed off at the buyer or had driven by and went, hey, where'd that window go? And called the county, which is what people do, my buyer could have been liable at any time for this, and he would have had to pay for everything. Good luck out there.